It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, two outstanding middle school teams here to vie for the chance to take on Samuel Ogle and perhaps become the last of the 4 semifinalists in this year's middle school competition. Let's meet the teams right now. First from Accokeek Academy, say hello please to Janae Jameson, Daryl Bryant, and Zanea Arroyo. And from Samuel Massie Academy, here they are, folks, our players today. Joanne Washington, Khalid Taylor, and Jaleel Acosta. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing, and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty. The easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points. Tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties for incorrect answers. Into the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 bright, good-looking teams will come back to play our game again against Samuel Ogle and perhaps advance in our competition. Let's make sure everything's working properly. Let's go over to the red team. Daryl, would you try your buzzer for me? Thank you, young man. Good luck to you and to Janae and to Zanea. And the green team, Khalid, would you try yours? It too seems to be in good working order, and it is Dijon, not Dewan, as I said earlier. My apologies, young man. Good luck to you and to Jaleel as well. Are we ready, guys? Let's have a great game. Congratulations on being chosen to represent your schools. You're obviously outstanding students, no matter what happens here today. We go alphabetically A before S, so Daryl, let's start the bowl.
Let's get physical for 5, please.
Get physical for 5 points to start our game. Teams, even though there is a shortage of this gas on Earth, there must have been plenty of it because they filled all the balloons at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Accokeek.
Helium.
Helium, that's right. I love seeing SpongeBob coming down the street. Go red. Excuse me. Yes.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, ask any fish that's living in a frozen pond or any Eskimo living in an igloo, and they'll tell you that ice is a very good what? Samuel Massie. Good what, Khalid?
Solid.
Not solid, no. Ask any fish living in a frozen pond or any Eskimo living in an igloo, and they'll tell you ice is a very good what?
Home.
Not home. Insulator. Insulator. All right, keeps out the cold, and of course, if the pond froze all the way down, the fish wouldn't be alive. So it kind of insulates the fish from the colder weather. Try again, Red. Good tries. Daryl?
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Teams, when little giraffes grow up, they go through what initial stage of life when their spots get darker and their hormones start flowing, just like when we go into our teenage years. Samuel Massie.
Puberty.
Puberty, that's right. Giraffes go through puberty too. I don't know if they get acne though. Okay, go again, Green.
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams, if you're trying to blame something on someone else, what tin... Accokeek.
What? Scapegoat.
Scapegoat it is. Absolutely right. I was about to say, what tin can eating farmyard animal do you blame? And Janae, she was way ahead of me. A scapegoat. Nicely done, Janae. Go red. Daryl.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, if you're trying to find out what the future holds, you can have someone read your palms or look into a crystal ball, or after you're finished drinking, they can read these green things, Accokeek.
Tea leaves.
Tea leaves, absolutely right. Sometimes it turns out to be true. Go, Red. Nice roll. Go.
Green things for 15.
Green things, 15 points. Teams, your question is as follows. If you're eating a watermelon and you throw the seeds away and they grow into watermelon plants, those plants are known by what same V initialed word that stands for when you raise your hand and says, yeah, I'll do it? Accokeek.
Volunteer.
That's called a volunteer plant. Absolutely right. Good. Go, Red. Tie score, 65 all.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, doctors are no longer prescribing antibiotics as much for infections that develop in these sense organs in children, oftentimes indicated by tubes sticking out of them. Accokeek.
Tumor.
Not a tumor, no. What sense organ? Remember, Samuel Massie, what sense organs often get infected, but doctors aren't prescribing antibiotics as much for them. Oftentimes you can recognize that infection because there are tubes sticking out of what sense organs?
I think it's ear.
What do you think, guys?
Ear?
Ear, absolutely right. Ear infections, some of the main reasons little kids go to the doctors. Good, all right. Go, green.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams, astronomers recently got a rare view of Makemake.
Jupiter.
Not Jupiter, no. Samuel Massie, nice try. Astronomers recently got a rare view of Makemake, a dwarf planet that orbits the sun just beyond this former planet. Yes, sir.
Darius?
Pluto. Pluto was the former planet. Okay, go again, Green. You're 10 points behind. Where, Khalid?
Science potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, the television show Mythbusters recently tested and ate various kinds of reptiles and mammals to see if they really did taste like this that everybody said they did. Samuel Massie.
Chicken.
Chicken, that's right. It seems like everything, whether it's an alligator or an old snake, people say it tastes like chicken. Go red, or green rather.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, fluoride hardens this part of the body. Accokeek.
The teeth.
More specific.
Enamel.
Enamel it is, absolutely right. I was going to tell you that Mountain Dew reportedly etches it away, whereas fluoride strengthens it. The hardest substance in your body. Nice comeback. Go red. Oh, hold that thought. We'll let Accokeek choose the first question in the next round, but right now we end our first round with Accokeek at 90, Samuel Massie right behind at 75. Good game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with round 2 of Science Bowl in just a moment.
Diet and exercise are never easy. Then again, neither is dying. Sadly, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke kill nearly 1 million people a year. Most of these deaths could be prevented. Please, talk to your doctor about your risk for diabetes and heart disease. And if your doctor recommends lifestyle changes or medication, listen. The reason so many die is because not enough are willing to change. You can stop it, starting right now. It's your life. Listen to your doctor. Eat better. Get moving.
I always thought being a good mother meant raising my baby myself. But when I got pregnant, I realized I wasn't ready to be a parent. So I did something I thought I could never do. I chose adoption. It was really hard, but I know my baby is with a loving family and has a very bright future.
Sometimes choosing adoption is being a good mother. Visit us at ichooseadoption.org.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. Thanks for being with us today. We've got 6 outstanding scholars here today. Let's meet them, find out about each and every one. Let's go to Accokeek Academy. And Daryl, nice to have you here today. You're welcome. Tell us about Accokeek Academy. How long has it been in existence?
2 years.
2 years. And you go from kindergarten to 8th grade?
Yes.
Is that right? And this is the middle school version. So what grade are you in, Daryl?
8th.
You're in 8th. And Janae, what grade are you in?
I'm in 8th grade.
Also 8th. And Zanea?
8th grade.
Also 8th grade. Accokeek is way down in the southern portion of Prince George's County. And who's your principal?
Miss Adams.
Miss Adams out there. I know she's rooting for you. And who's the sponsor of your team?
Miss Brackett.
Yes, and she's here, and we appreciate all the work she's done. She and Miss Wooden is both getting you ready to be with us today. Any alternates on your team?
Gabriel.
All right, we'll bring Gabriel out in just a few moments. Tell me about Accokeek. Why is it a great place to go to school?
We have a school-wide AVID program.
What's an AVID program?
AVID is Advancement via Individual Determination, and it's a class that helps you prepare for college.
Wow, so even at this young age, you're already thinking about higher education. And what do you want to do someday, Daryl?
I want to make video games and play music.
Wow, but you could go to college as well and get a degree in entertainment or communications, videography. You're going to do a great job. What do you do in your spare time, Daryl?
I play video games and I play music.
Yeah, and you are a multi-talented young man. You play lots of instruments. Tell people what you play.
I play the clarinet, the guitar, the tenor saxophone, and the piano.
Wow, where do you get all your musical talent?
My parents.
Your parents, they pass it along to you. Well, thanks for being with us today, and congratulations on doing such a nice job here. Zanea, nice to have you with us today. Tell us about yourself. What do you do in your spare time?
I play the piano, the violin, and I read.
Wow, talk about musical talent as well over there. How long have you played the violin?
Ever since 3rd grade.
3rd grade. You have your own violin?
Mm-hmm.
Is there an orchestra or a band at Accokeek?
Well, not for 8th grade, I think.
Not for
I think
8th grade.
it's up until 6th grade.
Up until 6th grade. That's wonderful. What do you hope to do professionally someday?
I want to be a basketball player and a neonatologist.
Neonatologist, because you told me you have younger siblings at home, yes?
I have 2 younger brothers.
What are their names?
Amir and Gabriel.
Okay, so they'll be watching you on YouTube here. And you play basketball for Accokeek?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay. Janae, nice to have you with us today.
Nice to be here.
Tell me, and just relax. You're doing a great job. You've come up with some great answers already. That scapegoat blew away the judges. You got that one just like that. How do you know so much about science?
Well, science has always been a cool subject to me because it's just more interesting than other subjects. You're learning things that actually can relate to life in many ways.
And that's what we try to do here, too. We try to make that connection for you. What do you do in your spare time?
In my spare time, I like to read, sing, and listen to music.
Yeah. What kind of songs do you sing?
I will sing anything but country.
We were talking about that before. All right. And what do you want to do professionally?
When I grow up, I'd like to be a location scout photographer, and I'd like to have a master's and a bachelor's degree in the arts.
Wow. Getting a chance to travel the world to find locations for various commercials or movies, that sounds like a great career. I wish I had thought of that, Janae. Nice to have you here. Samuel, Massie, nice to have you guys with us. And if Khalid looks familiar, he should. He was here last year, and he's got 2 rookies with him this year, Jaleel and Dijon. And Khalid, let's start with you. Tell us about Samuel Massie. It's also an academy, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you go K-8? Do you go from kindergarten to the 8th grade there? That's wonderful. And what grade are you in?
I'm in 7th.
You're in 7th, so you could be with us again next year, right?
Yes, sir.
That would be just terrific. Tell us about Samuel Massie. Who's your principal?
Miss Michelle Pegram.
All right, and I know she's behind you. And who's the sponsor of your team?
Miss Minor.
Yes, Miss Minor is here, and we thank her for being part of Science Bowl for the very first time. Hope this is part of a long tradition for you. Thank you for bringing the students here today. I'll ask you what I asked Daryl. Samuel Massie, what do you brag about? I go to Samuel Massie.
Well, it looks very nice outside, that we do extracurricular activities to help the students do better. And then also the learning process is very well.
Oh, that's great. And it is. It's a great-looking school. To me, when I saw it for the first time, it almost looks like a cruise ship. Looks like a big sail sticking up out of it. It's right across the street from Andrew Jackson. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Down in the Suitland area. And tell me, were there any alternates on your team?
No.
No alternates. You guys are it. That's all they needed. That's what he says. We're it. Tell me about yourself. Someday you're going to do what?
Astronomy.
Astronomy.
I'd like to do astronomy because if we went to the museum National Science Museum, and there was something to do with space, and I just got attracted to it, and I didn't want to leave.
Wow. Was this like that Air and Space Museum down there in Washington on the mall?
Yes.
Yeah, where they have like the Spirit of St. Louis and the capsule that went to the moon. Oh, I feel exactly the way you do. You could spend a week there and not see everything. It's just tremendous. Well, I wish you a lot of luck. I can see you as a great astronomer. And Jaleel, you were telling me that you really wanted to be on this game.
Yes.
You've been thinking, and here you are. I hope you're having a good time.
Yes.
Well, tell us about your science knowledge. How do you know so much about science?
Well, for me, I like science because, like, for example, you can learn the natural world, everything you see. So some things that interest me, how the light works, how this works, and so I investigate. So it comes out with other equations, other things that you gotta know. Like the human body has this organ, and the organ name is this, and like that. So, like I like to investigate facts and science to learn.
I think that's wonderful. That's what science is all about, a sense of curiosity. How does this work? We take so many things for granted, but, you know, even a light bulb, as you say, you know, that was a huge deal when Thomas Edison came up with that. So keep up that curiosity. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be an inventor and an engineer, a mechanical engineer.
Boy, that doesn't surprise me one bit. You'll be good at that because you've got that inquisitive nature about you. Nice to have you with us, young man. You're welcome. And Dejan, tell us about yourself. This young man tutors, and you're a math tutor, is that right?
Every subject.
Every subject. And who do you tutor?
I tutor a 3rd grader and a 7th grader.
That's wonderful. How'd you get interested in that?
Well, I've always wanted to be a teacher. I started out in my grandmother's basement acting like I was teaching my cousins.
Wow, so you aspire to be a teacher someday. I think that's just tremendous. What do you do in your spare time?
I tutor and I read books and act.
And you act?
Yes.
What roles have you played?
Santa Claus and Old Man.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. You didn't have a lot of makeup, but you had costumes,
yes.
Right? All right. You have nice stage presence, by the way. I can see you being successful at that. Let's get back into the game. Samuel Massie, 75, Accokeek, 90. We got a close game, guys. Lots of points to give away. The tough questions are left. Start us out, Daryl.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Team's sodium stearyl lactylate was one of the 37 ingredients in this snack food that, along with ho-hos and ding-dongs and snowballs, Daryl?
Twinkies.
Twinkies, that's right, are no longer being made, but we think they may be picked up by somebody else. Okay, with the Twinkies, go again.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade, 10 points. Teams, in the animated movie Up, little Russell told Mr. Fredrickson, there are none of these big striped cats because we're in South America. Samuel Massie. Yes, sir?
Tiger.
Tigers, that's right. There are no tigers in South America because Mr. Fredrickson said, go be careful of the tigers here. He said, well, there aren't any in South America. Good answer. Go green.
Science Potpourri 15.
Potpourri, 15 points. Teams, if you add additional numbers of these subatomic particles to an atom, that atom changes into an isotope. Are we adding protons, neutrons, or electrons? Samuel Massie.
Protons.
Not protons, no. You're adding mass to an atom. You're increasing the atom's weight. You're turning it into an isotope by adding what subatomic particle? A proton, a neutron, or an electron?
Electron.
The one neither of you chose. The neutron was the correct answer. Try again, green. Yes, sir.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, Dr. Joseph Murray died recently. He was the first doctor ever to perform a kidney transplant, and for that, he won a Nobel Prize in what field? Accokeek. What do you think, Daryl?
Science.
No, not science. Samuel Massie, for performing the first ever kidney transplant. Dr. Joseph Murray won a Nobel Prize in what field?
Physics.
Medicine. Medicine. Come on, guys. Go green.
Body system 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, by using a bone marrow transplant from someone who is not an ideal or a perfect donor, is still seemingly successful in curing this disease in which red blood cells are curved and get stuck in blood vessels. Samuel Massie.
Sickle cell.
Sickle cell is the right answer. Yes, indeed. 3 heads better than 1. I like how you did work together over there. Go green.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Before I ask the question, score update. Accokeek 100. Samuel Massie 100. Science potpourri for 10 points. The question is as follows. Some people now think it is just folklore that Galileo climbed to the top of this iconic tower and dropped 2 weights of different size. Samuel Massie.
The Leaning Tower of Pisa.
You got it. The Leaning Tower of Pisa. He dropped them both. They both hit the ground at the same time to prove that gravity is equally attractive no matter what the weight. Go. Green in the lead.
Green things for 10.
Green things 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Most skyscrapers are made of concrete, which means they give out a lot of this gas. But a new skyscraper made entirely of wood is sequestering all of this gas that's associated with global warming. Name that gas, Samuel Massie.
Carbon dioxide.
You got that right. CO2 it is. Go. Green.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, some scientists now think we can nuke one of these incoming celestial bodies that originates between Mars and Jupiter by dropping 2 nuclear bombs on it while it is in midair.
Asteroid.
Samuel Massie.
Asteroid.
An asteroid, yes, indeed. There was a movie called Armageddon, which showed how that was possible. Try again, please. Green. Tight game. Go again. Green.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. Teams, look at the monitor in the studio, please, if you would, for this question. This animal is a tarsier. Look at the eyes on this primate. If you could peel away the skin and look at its skull, you would see that these bones are very prominent. The eye sockets that have what same name as the path that a planet takes going around the sun. Samuel Massie.
Orbit.
The orbital bones. Yes, indeed. Good. Go. Green.
Science. Dateline science for 20.
Dateline science for 20 points. Teams, I will give you 20 points if you can name the famous French scientist whose name is forever associated with making milk safe to drink and came up with the germ theory of disease. What is his name? Samuel Massie.
Pasteur?
It is indeed Louis Pasteur, the pasteurization process that he came up with. You pulled that one out of the hat, and you're smiling for good reason over there. Go, Massie.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Come on, Accokeek, get back in this game here. Here's your question. Sometimes the name of an artery tells you where the artery is, like the renal artery is in the kidney and the hepatic artery is in the liver. Where in the body would you find the femoral artery?
In your thigh.
Accokeek.
Your thigh.
In your thigh, absolutely right. In your femur area. Good, go. Thanks, Janae. Go, Daryl.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, if you, when you grow up, you are appointed the director of vertebrate paleontology at the Smithsonian Museum, you're going to spend your day looking at what? Accokeek?
Fossils.
More specifically?
Backbones.
Judges? Yes, indeed. Bones is what we'll take. Good. Go. Red.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, if you're baking bread or brewing beer or making sauerkraut and you're taking yeast and bacteria and sugar and changing it into alcohol and carbon dioxide, what F-initial process are you engaged in? Fermentation. Fermentation. Try again, red.
Green things for 20.
Green things, 20 points. Teams, ozone is now known to damage these tiny openings on the underside of a leaf, these S-initialed openings, and thus stunts the growth of a plant. Accokeek?
Spores.
Not spores. Good try. What are those S-initialed openings on the undersides of leaves that ozone damages and thus stunts the growth of the plant? What do you think, gentlemen? Correct answer is stomates. Stomates. Tough question. All right, the toughest questions remain. Still anybody's game. Go, red.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25 points. Teams, a cuckoo seems kind of nice. It comes out of a cuckoo clock, but in real life, a cuckoo is called a brood parasite. It doesn't eat other birds, but what does it do that makes it a brood parasite? For 25 points, Samuel Massie.
Huh?
Talk among yourselves, guys, so kids have to come. You've got to come back.
What?
Okay, Khalid, tell me what you're thinking.
What did he say? I'd like to pass it to Jalil.
Jalil.
Insects, bugs.
Again?
Insects, bugs.
It sucks bugs.
Insects.
Insects.
Like,
Insert bugs.
no, insect.
No, you're not going down the right path there. The cuckoo is known as a brood parasite, not because it eats other birds, but what does it do?
Infects them.
No, it lays its eggs in other birds' nests and has somebody else raise the family. The brood, that was your clue there. Go red. Running out of time here. Come on, Daryl.
Let's get physical for 25.
Physical for 25 points. Teams, three-part answer. Water vapor, methane, and ammonia are found in the atmosphere of the 4 planets in our solar system that are known as the gas giants. Give me 3. Give me 3, Massie.
Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune.
Got it. The other one was Uranus. Yes, indeed, gentlemen. Go. Turn out the light, please, for the green team.
Okay. Dateline science for 25.
Dateline for 25 points. Teams, because of the direction that the winds come from, this is the name of the kind of storm that brings big snowstorms to the Washington area. Samuel Massie.
Blizzards.
Not a blizzard, no. You didn't listen to the first part of the clue. Because of the direction from which the winds come, this is the name of the storm that comes up the Atlantic seaboard and can bring big snowstorms to the Washington area. Come on, Daryl.
Nor'easter.
You got it. Nor'easter it is. Yes, sir. Good. Go.
Potpourri for 25.
Potpourri, 25. Big one in that carry. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. You'll see a Petri dish there, and someone is rubbing some spores onto the surface of the nutrient. What I-initialed word describes what's happening there that means the same thing as vaccinating. Instead of vaccinating the dish, they're doing this. An I-initialed word. Inoculating. Inoculating was the right answer. 2 questions left. You can still do it. Red team, Daryl.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Team's multiple choice question. The cerebrum is the part of your brain, the gray matter. The outer portion of the cerebrum is known as the cortex, the meniscus, or the pleura. Samuel Massie.
The cortex.
The cortex it is, yes indeed. Last question of the game, green things for 25 points. Teams, the reason why tomatoes taste so bland, the ones you buy in the supermarket, is because they don't have the genes to let these little green organelles in the leaves make sugar. What are the green organelles inside the leaves that make the sugar?
Chloroplast.
Chloroplast it is. What a way to go out with 25 more points. Looks like Samuel Massie has done it. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment. Don't go away.
I knew I needed help paying for college. I've always wanted to be a teacher. I used to make worksheets for my friends to do. No one ever wanted to come over. My guidance counselor told me about federal student aid, and my mom helped me fill out the free application. I got the grants and loans that made school possible. There is a way to pay for school. You just have to find it. My name is Caitlin. I'm going to be a special education teacher. I'm going to live my dream.
For years, scientists have explored remote corners of the Earth, searching for exotic substances that might help prevent cancer. At last, man has discovered a secret place where powerful remedies can actually be found. Medical research shows that a vegetarian diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, can help prevent many types of cancer. Wherever you live, cancer prevention is as close as your grocery store. To learn more, call 866-906-WELL.
Welcome back. What a terrific game. We are so proud of our players. It went back and forth like a tennis match here all afternoon, testifying to the skill of these 6 young people. Our final tally, Accokeek 165, Samuel Massie 250. Congratulations to Dijon and Khalid and Jalil. And I know, Miss Minor, how very proud you are of this team. And we're going to see you against Samuel Ogle, the 2 Samuels, in the next game. Accokeek, let me see your biggest smiles. You guys were wonderful. Daryl and Zanea and Janae and Gabriel, I know you're a great asset to the team. And Miss Brackett, thank you for bringing the team. We're so proud of Accokeek, and we enjoyed having you here. And we enjoyed having you as well. We hope to see you next time on another edition of Science Poll. Bye-bye.